Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on our first of 4 candidate forums. Today, we're going to be hearing from our local candidates. So this morning, we have most of the candidates for Chelan County. We are joined by Ann Hessburg and Shon Smith, who are running for Chelan County Commissioner District 2. Marty Young, who is running for Chelan County Clerk. Unfortunately, Sandra Adechiga was unable to attend. She is covering for jury administrator this morning in a scheduled trial. We also have Mike Morrison and Brian Burnett, who are running for Chelan County Sheriff. This morning, we are going to ask each candidate a series of questions. They'll each get a chance to give a 60-second opening statement and closing statement. Hopefully, you will all get to know these candidates a little better, so you have a chance to cast your ballot ahead of the November election. You can also listen to them this morning and check out our voters guide at www.wenatchee.org, as well as at their campaign websites. So this morning, we're going to start with Chelan County Commissioners. And we're going to start off this morning with Chelan County Commissioner District 2, which is Ann Hessburg and Shon Smith. Shon and Ann, if you could please come up here, please. We will be starting. Well, that was good. We have to adjust the mics here. So, Shon and Ann, we will be starting with the opening statements, and Shon will be asking you to start first. You have 60 seconds for your opening statement, and then Ann, you will have 60 seconds for your opening statement after that, and then we'll begin the questions. Shon?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out so early this morning. I appreciate it. It's important that all of you get to see who the candidates are and see who it is that's wanting to help guide the future of this community. I've been here for 48 years, and I have a family of 4 in Kashmir. I brought a beautiful wife back from college at Northwest Nazarene University. And we have 4 children that range from 14 to 20, 2 younger girls and 2 older boys. And my desire to run for Chelan County Commissioner is to help ensure that they have a resemblance of the community that I grew up in as a kid, because I remember this place as a certain way, and I see it changing very rapidly around us, and that concerns me, especially as we're moving from agriculture to tourism. We need to be thinking real hard about what we're doing with the last bits of land that we have available in this community for development. Thank you.
Thank you, Shon. Ann?
Good morning. Thank you to the Chamber for having us, and thank you everybody for your attendance this morning. I was raised in Wenatchee and currently live in Leavenworth. I'm proud to call Chelan County my home. I'm passionate about our success as a community and coming together to reach common goals and build our future together. Chelan County Commissioners are in charge of approving a county's annual budget and determining the county's tax levy, ensuring citizens' concerns are met and federal and state requirements are fulfilled, as well as setting environment and land use policy. My 15+ years in civic service, local government, and professional experience have given me a deep understanding for practical and financial issues surrounding permitting, development, business management in Chelan County, and the financial consequences that many of the existing issues that have been created for our citizens here in the county. I've worked on both sides of the counter and understand the complexity of the workings of the county, and am uniquely prepared to represent all of you as County Commissioner.
Great, thank you very much, Ann. So we have 5 questions for our candidates here this morning, and we're going to alternate between the candidates. So if you start on one question, the next question, the other candidate will start with that question. So we are going to start with Ann for our very first question here. And the first question is, why do you, or what makes you want to run for public office during these challenging times?
I'm running because of you. Business leaders, property owners, community leaders. In my conversations with all of you over the last year, you have asked me to run, and so I decided that I wanted to run. I've been working in land use for 15 years, and I believe that my experience and my skill set can help transform community development, protect people's property rights, and restore confidence in the process of building or remodeling a home, establishing or expanding a business, planning for future generations in agriculture, and supporting tourism that in turn stimulates our economy and provides more opportunities for success. I have a passion for service. I've been serving in communities for a long time now, and I desire to help our county and the cities achieve their goals together and remain successful. I believe that I can affect positive change when and where it is needed.
Great, thank you.
For me, it's a passion to help encourage our next generation that's coming up through. My 4 children, I don't know if they're going to stay here in the community or not, but I would really like for them to have the opportunity to be here. When we're talking about what the reasons are that we want to live here, it's the same reason that everyone is trying to move here. We live in God's country and it's beautiful, and I want to protect that. One of the big things that we need to be thinking about, though, is how we use this land that's left over for homes and for businesses. And for me, business development is a very important one because I'm a business owner myself. I've been in the Wenatchee downtown for 28 years now, and I've been in Leavenworth downtown for 8 years with my restaurant. And we have 63 employees that look to me to make good decisions and smart decisions. And this is the time, especially in this hot climate that we have for politics, for good leadership to step up, whether it be a man or a woman. The right person needs to be put in this position to protect what it is that we want to develop.
Great, thank you, Shon. Thank you. Okay, the second question is a little long.
Okay.
2-part, 3-part here. So, according to the United States Census Bureau, the majority of U.S. businesses have fewer than 5 employees. The USCB suggests that small businesses may be defined by metrics such as gross sales or total number of employees. Regardless of the definition, what do you see as the most concerning issues facing small businesses in the Wenatchee Valley? Equally important, if elected, how would you utilize your role to support small businesses? And please address specific processes and relationships you would utilize to achieve these specific objectives.
Well, when looking at small businesses, there's a lot of definitions for it, and my business is in Wenatchee about 32 employees, and in Leavenworth about 33 employees. And when I look at the success rate of businesses and their opportunity to fail, it's very, very high. 30% of restaurants fail in the first year. In the second year, the statistic goes even higher, closer to 50%. So supporting the small businesses and letting them know that they do have an opportunity here is important. But the thing we need to remember also is that the marketplace is going to be what chooses who succeeds and who fails. If you're building a better mousetrap or a better sandwich, the population and the community is going to support that. If you're not, then you need to have the heartbreak that your business just didn't work. But as we're looking at the kids that want to come up and do this, or the adults that want to come up and have their own business, we need to be there to support them. And I know that there's a lot of economic development going on between the city and the county, and what we do for these people that want to try and forge their own way is very important. So if we're not working in conjunction, we're going to have failure at a higher rate. So my desire is to work on economic development in our community.
Great. Thank you, Shon. You want me to repeat the question? You're good at?
No, that's all right.
Okay.
If elected, I would advocate for businesses within Chelan County. I want to support economic development, new and expanded business opportunities, housing affordability, and responsible growth and development within Chelan County, all of which are closely tied to a very highly functioning community development department. And this isn't the case right now. If elected, I will be a collaborative leader who encourages honest dialogue around issues affecting Chelan County residents. I will work with my fellow commissioners to restore confidence in our community development department. If our businesses are successful, our communities are successful. I will work hard to create a more predictable regulatory environment for our businesses within Chelan County. Through that department is where we really will find success. Through regulatory processes, reasonable regulatory language that makes it easier for people to develop their businesses, to obtain land use permits, and to move forward in establishing their businesses or remaining successful in expanding them. It's very important that we have regulations that are easy to understand, easy to implement on the staff side so that people can get started and moving forward.
Great. Thank you, Ann. The next question, we'll start with you, Ann. There has been an alarming increase in homeless crime in Wenatchee. especially in the downtown Wenatchee area. What steps will you, as a candidate, take to stop homelessness, crime, and especially the homelessness encampments on Wortham and Columbia Street?
Well, right now this is specifically a city issue. The county doesn't have authority within the city limits. But I understand the Boise decision that influences the decision-making process for the city. I believe that coordinating with the city is going to be very important because as the city moves forward with their solutions, there's the possibility that this may push the issue out into the unincorporated Chelan County, and it will also be our responsibility as a county to start dealing with this issue as well. At a county level, I think that thoughtful discussion about housing and a coordinated effort with our law enforcement is going to be very important. Law enforcement is responsible in the county as well as the cities that the Sheriff's Office has contracted with. And so strong dialogue and working towards solutions together is going to be imperative for us to be able to find solutions to homelessness and the associated crime.
Thank you, Ann. Shon?
This is a tough topic. I have to deal with it every morning when I show up to the restaurant. We have a back stairwell, and I never know if we're going to find a campfire remnants, or we're going to find remnants of shooting up drugs, or we're going to find food wrappers that have been handed out throughout the evening. I have a real problem with homelessness that does not want to change, that doesn't want to have an opportunity to better themselves. I do not believe in handouts, I believe in hand-ups, and that's the way I like to help people. So as we're talking about this being a county or a city issue, there's going to be some collaborative work that we're going to need to do to keep it from migrating out into the county. And that is going to be key, and the commissioners have a key role in working with our city administration and our mayors as to how we do that so that we do not encourage this activity that continues to be a magnet for others to come and have this easy way of life. So I desire to work with the city to figure out how they can keep it contained and keep it quantified to find out who deserves it and who doesn't, because otherwise they will continue to come. So we need to be very firm and we need to be very strict as to how we help people and not enable them to continue to make bad decisions in their life.
Thank you, Shon. So the next question, Shon, is local and regional partnerships are important to building broad strategic advances. What actions will you take to build a stronger collaboration with the city of Wenatchee?
Not just with the city of Wenatchee, but also East Wenatchee and the Port District and Leavenworth and the Upper Valley as well. We do have opportunity zones that we need to be looking at to attract large employers to come in here and help employ our children and employ the society here. When we are looking at available properties, what is the best use for those properties? And that's something that the county can do along with the city to say, hey, we have an idea over here, we have a proposition over here. What do you think about that? Do you have a better spot for that, or do we have a better spot for that? So keeping those relationships with the port and the cities is very important, and I plan to do that and continue to forge through with those.
Thank you, Shon. Ann?
Building partnerships with all of the cities within the county are important, including the city of Wenatchee. I believe that strategic relationships with each city should be consistent and the same. The county manages the city's urban growth areas. The cities have put a lot of thought and intention into how they want these urban growth areas to be developed within their regulatory base. And it is important for the county to have a strong strategic relationship with these cities so that these regulations are implemented as they have been designed. So strong relationships with the cities, various different organizations throughout Chelan County are really going to help us build stronger collaboration throughout Chelan County in conjunction with the cities.
Thank you, Ann. The final question here, Ann, is where do you see opportunities the county commissioners can help small businesses?
Chelan County can get out of the way. We have some tough regulations that make it really difficult for businesses to establish or to expand. Some examples for you are very based in land use development and the regulations that are associated with land use and our community development department. We've got Mission Ridge, that's a legacy business, and they're trying to expand their business I don't have an in-depth understanding of the large master plan that they're implementing, but they're really struggling with moving forward because community development is getting in their way and making it very challenging for them to move forward in the land use process. We've got multiple wineries throughout Chelan County that are trying to expand their businesses and provide opportunities for residents when they come and visit their winery. And the land use process through a conditional use permit is cumbersome in a lot of ways. There are conflicts between the permitting process and the established language that the staff is implementing, and it's not helping prosperity with these businesses. They're not given the opportunity to expand, and as we have challenges with expanded businesses, we have challenges with prosperity and success with these businesses. All of these examples and many more are being met with an unpredictable regulatory environment in community development. I want to restore confidence in the permitting process so that business owners want to come to Chelan County to invest, and current businesses can stay and grow.
Thank you, Ann. Shon?
I would echo exactly what Ann said. It is very frustrating to conduct business right now in Washington State especially. Chelan County has its own issues, but we also have issues with labor and industry, and we have issues with the health department, things that tie our hands and keep us from running our businesses the way that we would like to run them the most efficient way possible. Getting out of the way is the best thing that we can do to encourage entrepreneurs to come in and risk everything to launch their business and give it a shot, give it a try. Chelan County is a very warm and welcoming place, but we need to be sure that we're really taking care of those that want to have an economic benefit for our community.
Thank you, Shon. We'll now go into your closing statements. At the end of your closing statements, maybe let folks know what your campaign website is so that they can learn more about you. And also don't forget about our website at Wenatchee Valley Chamber. It's www.wenatchee.org. You'll have access to the voter's guide. It'll be published Monday next week. So we're going to start with Ann. Ann, if you'll be the first for the closing statement.
Thank you. Thank you again, everybody, for coming this morning. I really appreciate this opportunity to connect with more people in the community. I think it's really important to engage in this way so that you have a good understanding of who will potentially be representing you over the course of the next 4 years. Takeaways for this morning is I support economic development, new and expanded business opportunities, housing affordability for our workforce, responsible growth and development in Chelan County. I think these are all of utmost importance to our residents, all of which are closely tied to a highly functioning community development department. To learn more about my campaign, you can visit my website at annhessburgforcommissioner.com. Thank you again for joining this morning, and please don't forget to vote in November.
Thank you.
There's 4 things that I base my life on and characteristics that I'm known for. Number 1, I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative, I'm a constitutionalist, and I'm also a capitalist. I believe that giving people the opportunity to make money and provide for themselves is a very kind way of handling society and the dreams that we all have. Not every topic that comes at the commission is going to be seen through those 4 lenses, but those are the lenses that I use in my own life, and I will try and bring that to the commission as well. Given the opportunity to have this job and support all of you and represent all of you is important to me for the key to our future and encouraging people to stay here, live here, and thrive here. You can reach me anytime at smith4commissioner@nwI.net or smith4commissioner.com. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Shon. Well, thank you both for your time today. We really appreciate you being here. We're just going to take some time now to transition to our next candidate. We'll learn a little more about Marty Young, who's running for Chelan County Clerk. Thank you. Thank you both.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE channel.
The NCWLIFE channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCWLIFE channel today.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so just as before, we'll start with a 60-second opening statement, and we'll ask the candidate a series of questions. Unfortunately, Sandra Adechiga was unable to make it. She is covering for the jury administrator this morning. We have Marty Young here, who is also running for Chelan County Clerk. We'll continue to keep track of time, but Marty, don't feel like you have to talk fast. So we'll get started with your opening statement, and you have 60 seconds.
All right, thank you. And thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate it, getting involved and finding out who the candidates are running for office. That's what we need nationwide, and I'm glad to see that here in Chelan County. Myself, we relocated here to Chelan County about 25 years ago now. I was working with a Fortune 500 company, moving across the country several times, got exposed to the Northwest and Oregon, actually earned my MBA down there at the University of Oregon as I was working full-time and taking night classes. Then we got relocated to Kentucky, and I needed to get back to the Northwest. And got a job offer here out at the Rock Island plant and took it, and we've been here ever since and love it, just love it. And I've got 9 children. I've got almost 12 grandchildren. Well, I do have 12 grandchildren. One's just on the way. And I want them to be able to settle and grow here in Chelan County. And that's why I'm running for office, to serve the county, make it a better place, and keep it the way it is or improve it. We heard about the office of clerk becoming vacant when Kim Morrison announced her retirement several months ago, and nobody was filing for the office. Kim came and spoke to us one evening. I did some more exploration on the duties of the office and talked to Kim several times myself personally, and I decided to file for the office at that time. I do a lot of document processing right now in my job at the Department of Social and Health Services. It's different documents, but it is, computer intensive. I use over 25 different computer systems in that job, and I can do the same thing at the county clerk's office and keep it staffed with a fiscal conservative like it has been for almost 50 years now. That's why I'm running.
Thank you, Marty. So we have 6 questions for you. Okay, so the first question, why are you interested in the position of county clerk?
Yeah, I kind of touched on that a little bit already. It's a big job. I didn't have any idea about it till I started exploring it and found out information from Kim. But I have been serving the state now for almost 9 years, and I really have come to enjoy serving people, helping meet their needs. As Shon said, I like to give people a hand up, not a handout. When people apply for benefits at DSHS, then I make sure they are the ones that need the benefits, and they are accountable and continue to improve their lives and thrive. That's our goal there. And I'd like to continue to do the same thing at the county level. At the state, I work for Governor Inslee, and I'd rather not work for Governor Inslee. I'd rather work at the county level and contribute more. So that's why I'm running.
Okay, thank you, Marty. Okay, a lot of us don't know the workload or the role of the county clerk. What is the role of the county clerk, and how does it impact the Wenatchee Valley community?
Okay. If you go to the county clerk on the county website, there's a link that you can click on, and it'll show several pages of information that the county clerk does. Most all governed by a revised Code of Washington, which is our laws called RCWs. And most of the orders by the laws are not funded. So the county has to pick up the tab. It's called an unfunded mandate. It's a very challenging job to get this completed within budget. And most of the time, Kim says, we just run out of time. The personnel and salaries, that's a major budget item for the clerk. And it's still coming up short because of all these unfunded mandates and what the clerk needs to do. They receive and process and preserve forever every document that's presented to the courts, presented to the clerk's office. We're talking family law, child support, property law, everything that comes through the clerk's office like that, and it's preserved forever. They also do financial fees, fines, and trusts, and they review all documents for errors before they're stamped and filed. They're all scanned for preserving as a digital format and then shredded after 1 year. So it's a lot of work.
Thank you, Marty. What aspect of the county clerk's responsibilities would you enjoy or entices you the most?
Well, it's interesting work. It's similar work to what I do now. I mean, we process a lot of documents at the Department of Social and Health Services, and it's challenging. You're always pressed for time. You're never getting everything done. As a matter of fact, right now, those that want to can work from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. to help get everything caught up, and 5 hours on Saturday. But that's just a result of some of the actions taken at the state level. I don't expect that here at the county. It's challenging, interesting work. I love making things smoother and more efficient. My background, I'm an engineer, my first degree, and I enjoy lean processing. It's cutting out waste of every process. And there's a technique to do that. It applies across the board. I used it in statistical process control in my engineering job. I got a couple patents doing that. But I was surprised when I got here at DSHS that they use lean too. There's actually a lean conference coming up in October. It's virtual, you can attend from home. But they've been doing this for a number of years, almost 10, I believe. And I've been to a couple of those. I'm glad to see that they can apply that same process, and they do focus on it at the state level. We can make things smoother, we can make things leaner, more efficient, and try and save money and cut costs and just get more things done.
Thank you, Marty. What is the most important trait a county clerk should demonstrate?
Well, being a public servant, you got to enjoy that, and I do. I've demonstrated that over the last 9 years. Another good trait would be leadership. You're not just processing documents, you're actually the administrator of the office. You're doing the budget, you're doing personnel, you're doing quality control. Everything I've done in the past in my engineering jobs as a production manager and operations manager, overseeing over 100 employees. So I've got the experience in leadership. I know how to get things done. I know how to pick people up and promote them. I had a great supervisor in my job in Oregon, and he wanted to move up into IT. Okay, I said, let's go for it. I didn't want to lose him from my production job, but he did great. He actually got his team to work independently without a supervisor to the point that he could do that IT job full time. And that's what I like to do. I like to promote people. I want to find somebody that's going to step into this job in the future in 4 years when I can maybe step aside and get another person up to do this job. I appreciate building people up like that and, figuring out challenges. I love challenges. I mean, that's what engineers do. Give me something to do and I'll fix it. So that's what I like to do.
Okay. Thank you, Marty. The county clerk works with confidential information. how would you maintain the confidentiality and security of the information you work with?
Okay, it's pretty much done right now by statute, by RCW. Every document that comes across the counter has a classification per the law, and it's filed with the confidentiality level that it comes in at. Some of those files have restricted access and can only be viewed by certain people. It's very similar to what we do now at DSHS. We view a lot of private information, a lot of confidential information, health information. You can't disclose that to just anyone, and if you do, you could lose your job. So I'm still there after 9 years. I must be doing okay with the confidentiality issue. And we get training on that every single year, annual training. Also, another item we train on is record retention, how to protect records and preserve records and save records. So this is all, it's going to be a new job, but it's going to be very similar tasks. And I'll step right into it. And I've got a great team of leaders at the office now, and they're not going to change.
Thank you, Marty. Our final question. What do you feel your role is in helping reduce legal costs in actions taking place in Chelan County? How do you intend to assist in reducing legal costs?
Okay, this is a good question. I actually asked Kim about it because I wasn't familiar with the legal costs at the county clerk's office. And they do provide a court facilitator. It is a court facilitator program. Unfortunately, Sandra's not here. She could tell us exactly what that's about because that's what she is. But we don't provide legal advice. There's not really any legal costs in that area, just a court facilitator to provide guidance on the process, guidance on the forms. They do not fill out any forms, they just tell you how to fill them out. And that assistance is provided pro se, no legal costs, so they don't need to get a lawyer, but it is also no legal advice. We're just telling clients how to walk through the process. And this involves protection orders, minor guardianship, and family law cases. It's just an explanation of the process, a calculation of child support, helping with that. But we can't give legal advice, and we can't fill out forms. But we can tell you how to do it, what the process is. The legal fees are set by the state. We help as we can and by referring to the court facilitator. But that's pretty much all the legal fees that we could come up with.
Thank you, Marty. So that was the end of the questions. So we'll start with the closing statement. At the end of your closing statement, Marty, as well, please let folks know what your campaign website is so they can learn more about you.
Okay. All right. Again, thank you all for coming. I'm just happy to be able to serve and was able to step up and file for this position. I'd like to keep it as is. My campaign slogan is no change. Kim has a great leadership team in the office now. We have great subject matter experts. There's no need to change any leadership positions. Kim is retiring, but she offered to come in and help with the transfer process and make a seamless transition. So it's going to exist as if nothing changed after January 1st. So I'd encourage you to vote for me if you like the way the county clerk's office is running, and if you'd like to contribute and make sure it continues to maintain its services as is. My website is young4chelancounty.com, and I'd really appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marty, for being here today. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're going to just take another minute to get our final candidates up on stage. Our last candidate race is for Chelan County Sheriff, featuring Mike Morrison and Brian Burnett.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE channel.
Be sure to tune in each weeknight for sports during the NCWLIFE Evening News. If it's the Mariners, the Seahawks, or any of our local teams, I'll be sure to cover the latest right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Excellent. So we're going to get started with the last debate forum here, and this is for Chelan County Sheriff. We have before us Mike Morrison, and we have Brian Burnett, who are running for Chelan County Sheriff. And we're going to start off this morning similarly as with the others candidates. We'll start with an opening statement, and it'll be 60 seconds. And then we'll have another opening statement, and then we'll start with the questions. This morning, we'll start with Mike Morrison with your opening statement, please.
Thank you. So we'll get right at it. My name's Mike Morrison. I'm running for Chelan County Sheriff. 42 years old, married, 3 kids, lifelong Washingtonian. I am fortunate to come from a lifelong contribution to servicing community and country for my family. My mom was a lieutenant. My dad is currently a canine officer. My uncle was a sheriff. My cousin is a deputy sheriff sergeant, and my sister and brother-in-law served honorably in the United States Marine Corps. I carry that tradition on today after graduating Spokane Community College with a degree in Administration of Justice and Central Washington University with a bachelor's degree in Law and Justice, minoring in Sociology. I followed the family business, came into law enforcement. During that 16-plus year career, I served as a SWAT team operator, high angle rope rescue, search and rescue, swiftwater, field training officer, school resource officer, currently the union president for our agency, and love my job. I'm going to continue to serve the community as I always have done, and love law enforcement, love serving, and will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, please.
Good morning. I'm Sheriff Brian Burnett, and I served my entire career for the Chelan County Sheriff's Office since 1998, and the last 12 years of that being as the elected sheriff. The key things for our success during those 12 years was about building trust and relationships, and that's been one of the most important things that we've done. And then surrounding myself with a leadership team that has also done the same. That team has been the success in those relationships and the programs that we're facing, implementing, and then we're going to take into the future, addressing behavioral health, dangerous drugs, and then the challenge that we have towards training. And we've been able to bring a regional training team here and implement that team here as a regional piece, and working with our partners to actually create a true multi-jurisdictional SWAT team between our 2 agencies here in Chelan County and our 2 agencies in Douglas County, and then actually implementing and creating more productivity and a better working team and more staff on the Chelan County Regional Drug Task Force, while all the time actually saving Chelan County taxpayer money. So I'm excited about the next 4 years and where we're going to go, and that team is going to be crucial in taking us into the future for the challenges that we have to face in the future, because they are coming, but I'm confident with the team that we have in place. Thank you for being here this morning.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have 4 questions, and we're going to alternate, and we will start with Brian Burnett. First question: why do you want to continue to serve? And if re-elected, how do you plan to be an effective representative for the county?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Well, born and raised in Chelan County, married to my wife, April, of 35 years. We have 7 kids and 6 grandkids. That's 5 generations right here in Chelan County. The issues that we're facing in the future, there's no one more invested than this county than myself. And I want this place to be a better place, not just as good as it is, I want it to make it better for our future. And our most valuable renewable resources are our children and our families. And the people that we're recruiting to work at the sheriff's office are coming here from other agencies, from around the state and from around the nation, because they're looking for that quality of life. So we're going to continue to serve because we want to protect their quality of life, or we're going to protect your constitutional rights as well, and balancing that with a team that has the leadership roles in place, and they are leaders among their peers as well. I'm the current president of the Washington State Sheriff's Association, so we have contacts, we have things in place. They're able to pick up the phone and make calls to people that'll actually answer, that actually help us get the resources and the things that we need to do in the future. And so I think that's really key to what we're going to be doing in the future as far as here is working with our team, and not just locally for the sheriff's office, but regionally with our partners, elected officials, and our other law enforcement leaders.
Great. Thank you, Brian. Mike?
Okay. Service, that's what it's all about. I watched my family do it. I'm going to follow that tradition. They pushed it on me from an early age, make it better than when you came in. So what am I seeing now? Why am I running? I've noticed division within our agency. I've got deputies out here in the crowd right now that can back that up. I've seen money being paid out for lawsuits, several millions of dollars. I did not see that as responsible spending of taxpayer dollars. I've seen the focus drift away from serving community to serving ourselves. We should not be out there trying to see what our reputation's like statewide. I want to know what our reputation's like here in Chelan County. What does the community think of us? Are we providing the level of service that they expect from us? I don't want to be known as the best in the state as training. I'm a training officer, it's important. What I want to be known as the best at is that we provide the best service than any sheriff's office here in Washington State. The focus will remain in Chelan County. It'll go back to patrol. It'll go back to emphasizing our partnerships with the entities we do partner with, state parks, Chelan County roads, the schools. This is our focus. This is what we want to get back on. That's what I'm focused on coming into. I've done this. I've seen my family do it. It can be done. I've got the resources to rely on, and I have an administrative staff that wants to come in, wants to back me, and has additional ideas coming in to take care of these new problems coming in. So let's get back to work.
Thank you, Mike. Next question. In the next 12 months, what will be your highest focus?
Get back to work. Get back to focusing on patrol. There's a lot of times where I could be the only guy out west, from Cashmere up to Stevens Pass, up to Blewett Pass. With the new laws where we're required to de-escalate, have 2 people on scene, that's not good. You definitely want to get back to focusing on that we actually have full staff patrol squads. Our guys should not be out there taken away from patrol doing training for other agencies. We should be focusing on training ourselves and keeping our manpower up to the highest level that we can on the road. I don't want to be out there by myself. That's why I came down from Okanagan County. So if you're out there, you're raising your liability risk. I don't want my officers to be out there having that kind of liability on them. I want us to come back, focus on the law enforcement, focus on our contracts. If we have a fully staffed traffic enforcement unit, fatalities are going to be down. All of us have read in the paper how high a fatality's been this year. If we have our Forest Service guy out there, we're providing a service to the U.S. Forest Service. That provides us to deal with our search and rescue issues. If we have our school resource officers in the school and not covering for patrol and are out doing training, we won't have our staff complaining about where are our school resource officers. And if we have our boat out on the water, Washington State Parks will not have us on probation talking about taking our funding away. That was addressed in our most recent in-service for Marine Patrol training, and that also came from a November 2021 email. We have to get back to focusing on law enforcement. Nothing else, no personal agendas, no political agendas, law enforcement. That's why I've got a badge on.
Thank you. Brian?
All right, thank you. Well, we're going to continue what we've been doing, and I'm going to tell you the top 2 keys are behavioral health and dangerous drugs. And you do have to have those relationships working statewide, because you have to know exactly what you got to bring down for your training and how you're going to implement those and maintain those serious topics that we're talking about, behavioral health and dangerous drugs. There's also multifaceted as far as what we're doing. So we're going to continue with our regional training, because we have to provide the best level of training for our officers, and we have to stay up on what is the mandates, the current mandates from state legislation and beyond. Okay, but moving forward, we also have to be working closely, because we have a lot of different programs going on there. We have to manage our budget. We have collective bargaining agreements that we have to maintain. And for that, we have code enforcement, we have campus security, we have emergency management, we have a lot of different programs in there, and now that we've brought on behavioral health, and then we recently voted to bring that under the sheriff's office, is we'll be implementing that program to work directly with the sheriff's deputies and taking that training regionally. And then we're going to be focusing on some other things that we got coming on that we've been working with our behavioral health and with our regional partners with Chief Crown, is bringing on an officer wellness and resilience that we work forward as far as maintaining that so we have better productivity. And recruitment is one of our key factors that we're working on too, is how do we bring in long-standing people that are going to come in and bring value to our sheriff's office and our community. They're going to be long-standing employees taking our drive into the future, because they are the future that we promote, the right people, because they'll be taking over the agency in the coming years.
Thank you, Brian. Per the Chelan County website, Chelan County currently has 5 open lateral field deputy and 5 open entry-level field deputy positions. What actions are being taken or should be taken to fill these open positions?
We currently have a lot of different things going. We have current ongoing training or testing for lateral positions, which means those are people coming from other agencies that are current commissioned officers or entry level. The numbers are actually inaccurate because it was listed at 5, but prior to the first week of September, we had 6 open positions out of 58 commissioned budgeted positions. Okay, we just brought on September 6th 2 entry level. They'll be going to the academy on December. We brought on a lateral this week out of North Dakota that had origins from here from Washington State, and we have a lateral that's going to be coming on in, I believe, November, that's coming out of Arizona, that was actually a certified officer up in the west side of Washington State. We'll continue to do recruitment and different things as we're making a training video that's for recruiting, and we have job fairs coming up from 3 different counties that we're working on. We're also looking at different ways how we can increase our presence on social media, because the trend is if you can't get a new generation to fill out an application and a background history statement form on their tablet or on their phone, then you're probably losing a lot of different candidates. So we're looking at a lot of different applications on the demographics and how we reach out. But selection and the background process and making sure that we're hiring the best people to take this agency into the future to represent, and then those will be the ones that will be our leaders in the future, is key, and we won't be second done to that.
Great, thank you, Brian. Mike?
46, that's how many employees have left in the last 8 years from our agency, in one fashion or the other. That's more than half our agency, so I think we should be asking ourselves, how do we retain? You see agencies across the state that are now offering money for their employees to stay at the agency. Several of our officers that have left have gone to work for other agencies or doing the exact same thing they were doing here for Chelan County at another state agency. You cannot replace experience, the amount of money we've invested in them, the connections they've had with the community. If we bring new people in, we got to start all over, we got to invest more money. Why don't we focus on retaining? We do exit interviews, we've heard what they've said as they left, but we haven't addressed it, we haven't dealt with it. Why? Other agencies are begging and pleading for officers to come to them, for them to stay. King County is requesting some of their deputies to come back. Seattle's doing the same. Why is Chelan County not doing it? If we did that and we actually appreciated the employees that we had here, not just because they're older, we should be looking at them as they're experienced, tenured. We want them to be here. We know we need a balance. We need new officers coming up to replace. But we also need that experience here to bring them up and put them in connection with the community. Chelan County loves us as a law enforcement agency. We should not underappreciate that. I've been at other agencies and I've been in other counties that's not the same. So yes, we can continue to recruit, get our reputation up, but let's work on retention. If we retain, we won't have to fill 5. 6.
Final question, Mike. The Chelan County Sheriff's mission statement states, "The mission of our organization is to contribute to a safe and productive community." How does the Sheriff's Office affect or influence the productivity of a community?
So when you see the term protect and serve, that doesn't just mean people, that means businesses, entities. You're not going to get a Walmart or a Microsoft or a Starbucks or even our small businesses, who I have family members who also have small businesses, to come in, invest money in our community unless they know law enforcement's going to be there to protect their assets. So law enforcement is very important when you talked about protecting, serving, and being part of a productive community. So we want to make sure that that service is there, the community can trust us, businesses can trust us, and that citizens trust us. Because if this is deemed to be a safe county, which it is, it's a beautiful place to live, but our problems are starting to come up, and if we don't get ahead of it, we're not going to have that same reputation. You're not going to be able to attract the brightest minds and the brightest people in the nation to come here and live within Chelan County and provide for our community. So we'll do our part. We know the small businesses are also going to do theirs, and we're going to team together to make sure that Chelan County continues to be vibrant, successful, and the place people want to live.
Thank you.
Can you mind me saying the question?
Oh, sure. Of course. The Chelan County Sheriff's mission statement states, "The mission of our organization is to contribute to a safe and productive community." How does the Sheriff's Office affect or influence the productivity of a community?
Obviously. Well, the mission statement and the vision statement is crucial to what we do. And so when we interview people coming on to work for the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, we look for the evidence in their previous experience, in their upbringing, their life experience, to say, do you represent that? And one, are you a good fit for the Chelan County Sheriff's Office? And two, is the Chelan County Sheriff's Office and Chelan County a good fit for you? Because it's a partnership that has to go hand in hand. But everything that we do, from onboarding, hiring, background, to training and implement and moving forward, so a selection of supervisors and the product and the service from a servant leadership attitude and the service that we give to our communities and our members, both citizens, residents, visitors, and everybody coming through Chelan County is crucial. It's about the relationships that we have and that we've built. It's about the teams that we have out there. It's about the leadership team that they have and the things that they're doing and they've been doing that have that trust. It's not built on just one single thing. It's about who you are and what you do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, a monthly and an annual basis moving forward. And a lot of that is word of mouth. People talk about things that you've done, and they talk about the people that serve, and they know the quality and the quantity. And I can tell you right now, Chelan County Sheriff's Office and our regional partners, we're getting it done, and we're working better together than we ever have, and we're going to continue to do that.
Thank you. We'll now go into your closing statements. At the end of your 60-second closing statements, maybe let folks know what your campaign website is so they can learn a little bit more about you. And we'll start with Mr. Burnett.
All right, thank you. I'm very proud of the team that I put together and the people that I work with throughout the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, but it's much greater than that. When we talk about working in partnership, we talk about team membership inside, whether that's the squad that you work on patrol or a search and rescue team or the SWAT team. It's about the regional collaboration, from working on a multi-jurisdictional SWAT team involving 4, 5, 6 agencies. It's about working with other elected officials in the other departments, because there's a bigger picture here. It's the 30,000-foot view. And it's so important that you can put all of those people, all those pieces together on the small side and the small scale, but you have to have that large vision to say, how do we move things forward as a group into the future that's going to make the success and continue to keep our quality of life while doing all those things that we're paid to do. But this isn't just a job. This is a calling for me, and it's a calling for my team. I'm excited about having them lead this into the future of the unknown, because the one thing I can tell you, it is coming, and we got some challenges coming, but we can do it better and greater together.
I'll echo that. This is not a job, this is a calling. I've watched my family do it. I've had 2 of my friends killed in the line of duty, sacrificing their lives for their community and for the profession. This is a noble profession. I've also watched people break down mentally and physically, wanting to provide that service to the community. It's not lost on me. I definitely realize what kind of sacrifices have been put forth from officers across the state, and I recognize that we need to carry on that tradition of serving our community, not ourselves. So I'm going to continue to push on and partner with our neighbors. I was one of the first instructors to put together a regional training here in Chelan County with Douglas County, East Wenatchee, Wenatchee PD. I get it, it's important. We've done it, I've been there. it will continue on. But what we need to get back on is focusing, being responsible with taxpayer dollars, getting the emphasis back to patrolling, and honoring our contracts for those that are willing to contribute additional funds to our agency and help us out. I feel it's going to be irresponsible if we continue on this path and ask for taxpayers to pay more dollars after they've already generously provided us with a budget that allows us to provide good service and provides us with good equipment. But we need to get back to the fundamentals, which is law enforcement is all about protecting and serving, not self-representation. So come this November, I'd request your vote. It's time for change, and my webpage is morrisonforsheriff.com. Either way, I do appreciate the opportunity that Chelan County has allowed me to serve. I love this profession. I love my coworkers, and I'll continue to fight for them. I'll continue to fight for my community and uphold my family tradition of doing what's right. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you both so much for your time and for being here. We very much appreciate it. I'm going to ask you to stay here on stage as I just do some closing statements here. So, thank you to Ann Hessburg, Shon Smith, Marty Young, Mike Morrison, and Brian Burnett for being here. Thank you to Pybus, Travis, and his team. They are such a great partner and allowing us the space to host this event. Please take time to learn about all the candidates on your ballot. Be sure to check out our voters guide at www.wenatchee.org. There are also other resources, the Secretary of the State Office, etc. Be sure to drop off your ballots at the drop box locations, and you can find these locations on the Chelan County or Douglas County website. Thank you. Okay.